Yesterday we finished SRIMAD Bhagavad-gita. So if there is no any questions, you can write in chat. Otherwise, I will start Bhagavatam. You know that Vyasadeva played the pastime of not being satisfied after writing all the scriptures. Vedas, he divided into 4 parts: Rig, Sama, Jajur, Atharva, and Upanishads, and Puranas, and Mahabharata, Vedanta Sutra. He was not happy. Then he surrendered to Narad, and Narad told him, what you did is all wrong. Because jivas have natural attraction for these non-eternal things, but that will increase their disease. So you gave them that. And you did not sing for liberation. That is even worse. That is spiritual suicide. And you did not speak about Krishna. Then Vyasadeva said, I did in Mahabharata and in Gita. Gita is part of Mahabharata. Then Narad said, but there people are understanding it is for liberation. You worship me, everything you do, you exclusively surrender to me. I will rescue you from all sins. Those who are ordinary person, they will understand in this way. They will not understand as devotees are understanding what Krishna ordered. So you cannot be happy. You have to sing the glories of Krishna for his satisfaction and clearly describe about devotion to Krishna. We will come to this part in Bhagavatam. Then after writing Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva was happy. He got eternal bliss. Our Gurudev also told, quoting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu spoke about 5 most important devotional practices: Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, and Bhagavat Shravan. He did not say any other scripture, Bhagavatam, because Vyasadeva was happy when he wrote Bhagavatam, and there is no time in Kali Yuga to read so many scriptures. And everything is there in Bhagavatam, including that which is in the Gita is there. But for preliminary study, Bhagavad Gita is good, and where Bhagavad Gita ends, that is with exclusive one-pointed surrender to Krishna, there is where Bhagavatam starts. Bhagavatam is only about Sharanagati and about pure devotion, all true. That is why Mahaprabhu told you go, hear Bhagavatam. And all the Goswamis, 6 Goswamis, they gave their evidences for what they wrote. They gave from all scriptures, but mainly conclusions all are in Bhagavatam. They took, and Chaitanya Charitamrita also, all conclusions, evidences are given from Bhagavatam. This is the highest quintessence of all scriptures, our Gurudev used to say. And I even heard Gurudev say to one disciple, no need to read Gita. Directly go to Bhagavatam. There is no time in Kali Yuga. You will get everything in Bhagavatam. So it is very clearly what Krishna instructed at the end, means what Krishna wanted from Arjuna, what is his advice. It is very clearly and elaborately described in Bhagavatam. So our Gurudev also instructed that how we should read scripture. So now we came, after Gita, we came to SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. If someone reads the Bhagavad Gita with the commentaries of Vaishnava Acharyas, especially Gauriya Vaishnava Acharyas, followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then he will get pure devotion. He will see there and he will get that inspiration. That is okay. Like Vedanta Sutra. If you read the commentary of Baladev Vidyabhushan, Govinda Bhasya, which is actually the commentary of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is okay. But if you study with some Jnani, then you will get wrong conclusion. But everything what is in Vedanta is in Bhagavatam, because Vyasadeva, the author himself, told, I think in Garuda Puran, that one can understand the meaning of Mahabharata, including Gita, and the Gayatri Mantra and Brahma Sutra, one will get in Bhagavatam commentary, explanation. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not order any of his associates to write commentary on Vedanta Sutra, because Bhagavatam is accepted as commentary by Vyasadeva himself. But later, when that necessity arose, then that Govinda Bhasya was also manifested, that explanation. It is based on Siddhanta of Bhagavat. And our Gurudev also told that we should read the translation by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, because he did not come to Western countries by his own desire, by his own will. He was ordered by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, so that grace is there with him. So there is devotion, is bona fide Bhagavatam. You have many professional speakers, they will not get devotion, or some Mayavadis also, they will come. No. Real devotee, Sarup Damodar also told to that poet from Bengal who wrote some Apasiddhanta, he wrote Jaho Bhagavat Poro, means Sarup Damodar Goswami told him, Jaho Bhagavat Poro Vaishnavero Sthane. You have to read Bhagavatam, you have to hear Bhagavatam from a realized Vaishnava. Jaho Bhagavat Poro Vaishnavero Sthane. Ekanta Ashray Koro Chaitanya Charane. Gauranger Bhakta Goner Nitya Koro Sangha. Tobe to Janiba Siddhanta Samudra Taranga. Go and study Bhagavatam from a realized soul. Take exclusive one-pointed shelter at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and always associate with his personal associates. Then you can understand the ocean, unlimited ocean, waves of Siddhanta in unlimited ocean. Bhagavatam is also unlimited. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was explaining one verse of Bhagavatam. Labdva sudurlabam idam bahu sambhavante manusham artadam anityam pihadira turnam jatetana patetanu mrityu javan nishreyasaya vishaya kalu sarvata syat. This verse from 11th canto, for 1 month, every day, 1-2 hours. Still he felt that he did not feel satisfied. I could not explain. Because Bhagavatam is unlimited. Mahaprabhu also told to Sanatana Goswami, Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna, it is unlimited. You cannot finish. There are unlimited revelations coming from Bhagavatam. And you will find when Mahaprabhu was going from Bengal to Puri, he stopped in Barakhanagar. That was one suburb before in Calcutta. There was that Brahmin devotee, and when Mahaprabhu came, he started reading Bhagavatam. And Mahaprabhu was so happy hearing his Bhagavatam recitation that he started to dance while hearing Bhagavatam. And that went on for whole night. That Brahmin, we are hearing that Lila, I forgot now what is the name. Then Mahaprabhu, also falling down and all ecstatical symptoms, just hearing Bhagavatam. Then Mahaprabhu told him, you need not do anything. You just read Bhagavatam. You are Bhagavata Acharya. So you go on doing this. Mahaprabhu blessed him. So Bhagavatam is not ordinary. It is not different from Krishna, from Radha Krishna. That is why you will see in our mat, the preacher means one who will recite Bhagavatam, explain Bhagavatam. He is bowing down before sitting on Vyasasana. He will bow down to Bhagavatam, and Pujari will offer incense and some flowers with chanda to Bhagavatam. He has to be worshipped because he is not different from Krishna. You will find in Chaitanya Bhagavat also five objects are worshipable in this world, but 4 are self-manifested, worshipable, no need to install. One is Ganga, one is Vaishnava, one is Bhagavatam, and one more. You need Tulsi. You don't need to install or anything. They are automatically worshipable. But for deity, you have to install. Krishna has to accept, and he will accept that service. But for Bhagavatam, no need to install. They are already Krishna, not different. So we have to worship. And our Gurudev also told to read in all devotional books. You should not skip preface, forward, that Mangalacharan or introduction. These things you should not skip. You should read everything. So I will start totally from here. So Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, he dedicated to Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, my spiritual master, on the 26th annual ceremony of his disappearance day. He lives forever by his divine instructions, and the follower lives with him. One who will follow the instructions, Guru, he will always be with Guru. Direct contact. It is only through this that you can have, not by physical proximity, but by surrender, means by following his instruction, one can experience that Gurudev is eternal and he will always be with him. Sai Maharaj experienced this. He is a realized soul, pure devotee. So therefore he was successful in his preaching because he followed the order of his Guru and for Krishna satisfaction only. That is why he never misused anything. He already had higher taste and he inspired jivas to be devoted to Krishna, not for anything else. You will find in Bhagavad Gita, Srila Sai Maharaj dedicated to Baladev Vidyabhushan because his commentary is based on the commentary of Baladev Vidyabhushan. That was his outline. He was translating and going and sometimes adding something according to time, place, circumstances, or according to his inner revelation. He wrote, but basis was commentary of Baladev Vidyabhushan, and here he is submitting this offering, this Bhagavatam, to his Gurudev. Srila Prabhupada. Because he ordered him. By the order of Guru, we can do service. Without the order of Guru, without him giving us the service, we cannot have. So that is the most important point of devotional life. Even we heard from Gurudev many times, there is a rule that when one will do puja inside the temple, I'm not saying arati, but those puja offering 16 types of articles, that curtain and door are closed that time. If there is a rule, one should, from beginning till the end, one has to stay inside and do that puja. He should not go out. It is prohibited for any urination or for anything. One should not come out. But if Gurudev comes and suddenly he calls, "Oh Shyamasundar Brahmachari, Shyamasundar, where are you?" Then it is the duty of that Brahmachari to come out and attend to Guru. If Guru needs something from him, he should do that. Or if Guru will see, "Oh, you are doing puja," then, okay, you go and continue. After you finish, you come. I need something. But it is the duty of that disciple to come out. Why? Because when you do that puja, Adau Guru Puja, first there is Guru Puja. First. Or Adau Guru Padashroy also in Sadhana Bhakti. Adau Guru Puja, first we have to worship Guru. Then with his permission, we can worship Gauranga and Radha Krishna. Independently, we have no entrance. So now directly Guru came and he needs something. It is your duty to come out and attend. So important. Like if we ignore the sun rays, how we can have contact with the sun? They are non-different and he is revealing himself through them. So Guru is non-different from Krishna. We cannot ignore him. Then we will have no actual contact with Krishna. Every service must be done under the guidance, order of bona fide Guru, who is not different from Krishna. So here there is a preface by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. We must know the present need of human society. And what is that need? Human society is no longer bounded by geographical limits to particular countries or communities. Human society is broader than in the Middle Ages, and the world tendency is toward one state or one human society. The ideals of spiritual communism, according to SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, are based more or less on the oneness of the entire human society, nay, of the entire energy of living beings. The need is felt by great thinkers to make this a successful ideology. Srimad Bhagavatam will fill this need in human society. It begins, therefore, with an aphorism of Vedanta philosophy, Janmadi Asya Yata, to establish the ideal of a common cause. That common cause is Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Vedanta Sutra starts Atato Brahma Jigyasa, because there is one scripture, Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa. Purva means before. Investigation, but prior investigation, And Uttaramimamsa is later investigation. First, it is about karma kant, about this enjoyment and everything. When one will come to the end of that and understand that is all temporary and it does not fulfill one, then time comes thereafter, atato, thereafter Brahma Jigyasa. Now it is the time to inquire about absolute truth, means spiritual truth, eternal. Then the first aphorism there, first sutra in Vedanta is this, Janmadi Asyatah, from whom everything comes, is Brahma, means supreme person, supreme truth. With short A, Brahma is demigod with 4 heads, but Brahma with short A, that is Supreme Lord or Supreme Reality. So our Parangurudev, he also spoke, and our Gurudev many times he said this. If you put different centers of interest and you make those circles around, then when that will increase, it will come in clash with another, and fighting is inevitable. This is going on in this world. Everyone is having false ego and false interest and is expanding and coming in clash with others. But if you have one center of interest, then you can draw smaller circles or bigger circles or how many you want. There will be no clashing, no fighting, because there is a common interest. That is in Golok Vrindavan. Krishna is the only enjoyer, all are serving him. Some may be serving less, some may be serving more, but there is no clashing. Because center of interest is one. But if it many, there will be fighting. So here Srila Sai Maharaj is saying that we have to find the common cause. Then violence will stop and there will be mutual love relations by seeing all are interrelated. So this is possible only in spiritual communism, not material communism. That is not all encompassing, and also people are corrupted. Although they are saying, yes, communism, but they are cheating, taking. And capitalism, social or whatever, globally, whatever you want to do, as long as false ego is there, ignorance, there is no any solution. It will go for some time and then it will collapse or like this, and it will change, but never there will be solution. Whatever you want to invent, until you remove false ego, there is no practical solution. Only speaking of words, and it will not. So you have to come on spiritual platform to see the reality. Janmadi Asyayata, from whom all are coming, you will find in that Taittiriya Upanishad, Jato vai mani bhutani jayante, jeno jatani jibanti, yat prajanti abhishambhishanti, tat bijivya sasva, tat eva brahma. From whom all living entities are coming, by whom all are maintained, and into whom all are entering, he is Brahma, means supreme. So there is a common cause, common source of all, and we are all interrelated. So when one can see this, then he cannot have any enmity towards anyone and any violence like this, but loving relation in relation to Krishna. And another verse of Upanishad also is there, Ekam eva dvitiyam. He's one without a second. He's only one. And Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. Eko Bahunam Jobidadati Kaman. He is one eternal among many eternals and one conscious among many conscious. This one fulfills the desires of many. So this is eternal reality. When one can realize this point, everything is coming out of Krishna, and everyone are meant for his service, then he can be in peace and in happiness. But it is not enough to just speak and hear or understand or preach, but have to practice this and realize, then you will get the result. Human society at the present moment is not in the darkness of oblivion. It has made rapid progress in the fields of material comforts, education, and economic development throughout the entire world. But there is a pinprick somewhere in the social body at large, and therefore there are large-scale quarrels, even over less important issues, because clash of interests. There is need of a clue as to how humanity can become one in peace, friendship, and prosperity with a common cause. You have certain globalist, these movements or like this, they want to make everything one, but in impersonal way, one. That is not possible. It will never work. Everyone is individual. You cannot forcefully put everyone into one fold because they have relative independence and different tastes and everything. You cannot put everyone like impersonal, but they have a common interest when they realize that they are the servants of Krishna, and they will see all living entities and all this world in relation to Krishna. Sarvam Kalo Idam Brahma. They will see this, then there is no clashing. One will serve in this way, another will serve in that way, but common is they are serving. And one will appreciate the service of that one, and this one will appreciate the service of that one, because it is for the same purpose. Like in Arati, Lalita will wave lamp, and Vishaka will do chamara, and some will sing, some will play mridanga, and this. All are doing different services, but there is no fighting because all are meant to serve Radha Krishna. So, SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM will feel this need, for it is a cultural presentation for the re-spiritualization of the entire human society. I think this word we will maybe not find in dictionary. It is Swami Maharaj's word. Re-spiritualization of the entire human society. That is the need. It is actually the need. SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM should be introduced also in the schools and colleges, for it is recommended by the great student devotee Prahlad Maharaj in order to change the demoniac face of society. Kaumara acharet pragyo dharman bhagavatan iha durlabha manusham janma tadapya dhruvam artadam. To demon boys, he told. They wanted to play because teacher Sanda and Tamarka, they went for some work outside, so they were free. So other boys, they wanted to play, And they invited Prahlad, and he said, no, it is not good. You come here and sit with me. I want to tell you something important. Then they had the respect for Prahlad, and they came, sat around him, and Prahlad said, we should not waste our time. We got this human birth, and we can attain Arthadam. We can get this human birth awards us Artha, actual need. What is our need is Supreme Lord. By serving Him, we'll be happy. Then he is explaining everything very nicely. Will come. So this is the first verse when he told. There he said, one should start worshipping Supreme Lord after getting this rare human birth at the age of 5, not later than that, because later so many entanglements will come and you will not be able to devote yourself to Krishna. So better to start at the age of 5 and not waste this human life for unnecessary things, because this human life can award us what is actually our need, for what we are striving for. We all want to be happy, but we cannot be happy by those processes. Disparity in human society is due to lack of principles and disparity in human society is due to lack of principles in a godless civilization. That is true. If there is God consciousness, then there is no problem. But immediately when you lose, then all problem starts from that point. Krishna Bhuli, forgetting Krishna. There is God, or the Almighty One, from whom everything emanates, by whom everything is maintained, and in whom everything is merged to rest. That is that verse I told before from Upanishad. This is the translation. Material science has tried to find the ultimate source of creation very insufficiently. But it is a fact that there is one ultimate source of everything that be. This ultimate source is explained rationally and authoritatively in the beautiful Bhagavatam, or SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, SRIMAD means beautiful. SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM is the transcendental science not only for knowing the ultimate source of everything, but also for knowing our relation with Him and our duty toward perfection of the human society on the basis of this perfect knowledge. It is powerful reading matter in the Sanskrit language, and it is now rendered into English elaborately, so that simply by careful reading one will know God perfectly well, so much so that the reader will be sufficiently educated to defend himself from the onslaught of atheists. Over and above this, the reader will be able to convert others to accepting God as a concrete principle. It is all by the mercy of Krishna himself. He manifested himself as Bhagavatam in Sanskrit language, and he also came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he ordered Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to preach everywhere. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur ordered Srila Sai Maharaj, you will have to preach in English language. So it is by Krishna's mercy, by Mahaprabhu's mercy, by personal associate Mahaprabhu, it is that we are able to read this. It is directly mercy of Krishna. He is so compassionate to us, to recruit us, to take us back to Him. That is His mercy. So one will be sufficiently educated so that he will not be misled by atheists. And also one will be able to convince others of God. Now we are thinking God is something abstract, something, and this is concrete reality. What we can touch, what we can see, this is concrete. But it is just the opposite. God and His personal associates and His Dham and everything, and even this world, when viewed from perfect vision, that is concrete reality. Now we are having distorted vision through these senses. We are not seeing the whole reality. And mind is also great cheater. Senses are cheating. They are limited. Mind is also cheater. He will show you one thing, but the reality is another. And sometimes I think I am a great devotee of Krishna mentally, but not in reality. That also can be revealed. And also when I was in school, high school, in the physics, the last teaching, the teacher gave us, the title was "The Brain is the Greatest Liar." And he showed us by one, like some pivot or something, some like this was there. And on one side there was pin. And then he pressed some button and we saw that pin suddenly jumped on this side. So we saw it jumped on this side. We saw with our eyes and interpreted by brains that it jumped like this. But reality was that that pin was going around in circular movement so fast that we were unable to see. We just saw the position of pin on this side and then on that side. So our brain interpreted, yes, it jumped like this, like we saw. So senses and this brain intelligence, all this, they are deceiving because they are limited. Even they admit this, but still they want to prove everything based on only these evidences, senses and intellect. But reality is beyond. It is self-effulgent, it is revealed. Even philosophers, our Gurudev, because he studied philosophy, his master degree, sometimes in Harikatha he told us about that philosophy and Siddhanta or Darshan Shastra is not one and the same. Although we are using these words, because there are no other words in English, but it is not the same. But they are coming to same conclusion indirectly. Gurudev told philosophy means love of knowledge. Philo, Sophia, love of knowledge. And what kind of knowledge? About the reality, how you will arrive at the knowledge of reality by reasoning and argument. It is the definition of philosophy. But Vedic Shastra, Darshan Shastra is just the opposite. These are limited. You cannot determine ultimate reality by this because they are non-eternal. With non-eternal, you cannot see the eternal reality, which is always existing. You cannot produce reality. Only you have to find a way how to see that reality. That is darshan. And then Gurudev told that Immanuel Kant, that critical philosophy, he said that human being has the capacity to know the thing as it appears. He has no capacity to know the thing as it is. Only he can know the thing as it appears, not as it is. Then that was he refuted another philosopher, maybe Hegel or someone, and there that no, you can know by reasoning. You can know the thing as it is, not only as it appears. But then one Berkeley, English, one philosopher refuted, no, you cannot know by reasoning. It is limited. You can only know the thing as it is by direct presentation and feeling, not by reasoning. When that thing will present itself, you will have to accept, you will have to realize, feel that as it is, as it presents itself. Otherwise, you are making some bars from your side. So Gurudev said indirectly, they are also admitting the same thing, which Darshan Shastra says, that without revelation, you cannot know. And without you accepting the truth as it is, through surrender, accepting, without any filtering or reasoning or this, you cannot know. So that is Darshan Shastra. So otherwise we will not live in concrete reality. We are now living in imperfect vision. But when you realize God, then Sai Maharaj told, as sun lights up everything during daytime, like that, when that knowledge which removes ignorance will descend, then you will see everything in proper perspective. Then you can see who is he, who are you, what is this world, what is your relation, what is mutual relation, what is your actual duty, and what you are to attain. Sambandhabhidaya, everything is in Bhagavatam, Shastra. And then when you will realize that God is a concrete principle, you have to realize, not only believe and imagine, you have to realize. Then when you realize, then you will be able to convert others to God consciousness. That will give them inspiration. If you will have realization, then that will have some impact on them. And they will understand there is something, and they will be inspired to search and to accept the process of realization. But if I'm only theoretically speaking, that will not have much impact on others. Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the definition of the ultimate source. It is a bona fide commentary on the Vedanta Sutra by the same author, Srila Vyasadeva, and gradually it develops into 9 cantos up to the highest state of God realization. The only qualification one needs to study this great book of transcendental knowledge is to proceed step by step, cautiously, and not jump forward haphazardly as with an ordinary book. I know one devotee, when he gets some book, first he must see what is at the end. so impatient that he will like turn the pages, but he wants to see what is at the end. First he wants to see, then when he will be pacified, okay, that is at the end, then he will start from the beginning, reading the book. So impatient. But we cannot understand or get in that procedure. We have to go step by, like in school. Like when during the time of Prabhupada in Gaudiya Math in India, 1930s, there was 1 month Harismaran Mahotsav festival around Janmashtami. So every night there was Harikatha and Kirtan, everything. And different dignitaries of the city were invited, and gas and all, and prasad distribution 1 month. So some students of world famous C.V. Raman, they scientist, Nobel Prize winner scientist, Indian, they said, why you are not inviting our teacher? Then Prabhupada said, yes, I have no objection. Then he sent our Parangurudev, that time Brahmachari, Hayagriv Brahmachari, you go and invite him in the name of Gaudiya Math. So he came to his laboratory and he said, on the behalf of Gaudiya Math, we would like to invite you for Krishna Janmashtami ongoing festival. Then he challenged that C.V. Raman. I don't believe in your Keshto Bishtu. That is derogatory saying Krishna Vishnu. I don't believe in your Keshto Bishtu. What I cannot see with my senses, that does not exist. So I will not go. Then Parangurudev, there was a wall there in that laboratory behind which was North Calcutta. So Parangurudev asked him, if I don't see anything beyond this wall and say there is nothing beyond this wall, would that be true? Because they both know there is North Kolkata, but now I'm not seeing. So then he said, but with some instruments I can see through that wall also. Then Parangurudev said, but there is a limitation to all your instruments. Would it be proper to say there is nothing beyond? Then he said, don't waste my time. I already told I don't believe in your Keshto Bishtu. If you can show him to me, then I will believe. Can you show him to me? Then Parangurudev said, if your students would come to you and say, first you show us what you found out by your research. First you show us and then we will study under you. What would you say? He said, no, that is not possible. First they would have to finish physics schools and then that BA, I don't know how that educational system, all the university, all the in physics, they would have to study that, and after that they would have to study with me for 5 more years. Then they will be able to understand what I saw or what I invented or what I came to know by my research. Then Parangurudev said, you see, it is the same. You are not able to show to your students unless they accept the procedure by which they can understand. Like that, can not the Indian rishis, the seers, say exact same thing? You follow their process and see for yourself whether you can experience or see the existence of God or not. But before you make the experiment, because scientists, they are all the time doing experiments and then they are coming to some conclusions. So, but before you made the experiment, can you say there is nothing? First follow the process and see whether you will get realization or not. Then you can decide whether it is not, or there is no God or there is God. But before making experiment, how you can claim that is not science? Then he was silenced. He could not answer anything. Because Parangurdev is a realized soul. He knows who is God, practically. So then he said, I don't know anything about Krishna, what I will say that. So you better invite someone else. Then he said, no, your students, they wanted this, so we came to invite you. So it is a fact. You follow and see that God is concrete principle. It's not imaginary, but you have to follow the process of that surrendering and getting revelation. Your own senses, and this you cannot beyond that. Revelation and your acceptance. So, in this way, he explained to him. Why? Because he knows God as a concrete principle, so he can convert others, or at least stop them in their atheistic propaganda. So tomorrow we will further hear the preface. So we have to step by step, cautiously, we have to go. This was the point, yes? Because it is by revelation it will come. You cannot jump with your senses ahead. When you accomplish one step, then further revelation will come in like this. You cannot by your senses go and grasp that. It is impossible. It is a revealed thing. We cannot concoct or imagine or acquire that by our own effort. Then he would be equal to us or less than us. But no one is equal or more than Krishna. It is only by his will that we can know him. So we have to accept proper procedure of Sharanagati, and to a surrendered soul, Krishna will reveal himself. Then you can know him as he is by his grace. Otherwise it will be only imagination.